All right, let's talk about something most of us have a very close relationship with, coffee. But today, we're not just talking about your morning ritual. We're going to dive into how you can turn that daily cup into an incredibly precise tool to absolutely crush your training and hit your performance goals. You know the feeling, right? You have that perfect pre-workout coffee, you hit the gym, and you're just on fire. Everything feels light, you feel strong, but then fast forward to 2 a.m. and you're staring at the ceiling, your mind just won't shut off. This quote nails it. You want coffee to help you, to serve your goals, not to sabotage them by stealing that crucial recovery.
And this right here, this is the vicious cycle so many of us get trapped in. You use coffee, your performance goes up. Awesome, right? But the cost is your sleep goes way down. So what happens the next day? You're exhausted. You need even more coffee to get through your workout, and that cycle just gets tighter and tighter. It's a classic trap that turns a great tool into a crutch.
So that brings us to the big question, the coffee lover's dilemma. How do we get the upside without the downside? How do we break this cycle? Well, to do that, we've got to understand what's actually going on inside our bodies. And spoiler alert, it's not magic, it's just biochemistry.
Okay, it all starts with this one little molecule, adenosine. Just think of it as your body's natural sleep pressure clock. From the second you wake up in the morning, it starts building up in your brain, bit by bit. The more you have, the more sleep pressure you feel. It's basically your body's way of saying, hey, you've been running around all day. It's time to power down.
And now, enter caffeine. What caffeine does is actually pretty clever. It's basically an adenosine imposter. It looks similar enough that it can swoop in and park in all the little parking spots, the receptors, in your brain that adenosine was headed for. So with all the spots taken, adenosine can't deliver its "you're getting tired" message. Result? Fatigue vanishes. You feel sharp, alert, and yeah, pretty superhuman.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Caffeine sticks around for a long time. We talk about its half-life, which is just the time it takes your body to get rid of half of it. And that window can be anywhere from 3 to 7 hours. It's super different for everyone. So think about it. That 2 p.m. coffee you had to power through your afternoon workout, at 10 p.m., half of it could still be in your system, actively blocking you from getting deep sleep.
So you see, the point here is crucial. The problem isn't coffee itself. Coffee is amazing. The real problem is the guesswork. We're just guessing how much to have, guessing when to have it, and totally guessing how it's going to affect us 8 hours from now. The only way to win is to stop guessing and start using a system. And that system is all built around this really simple but powerful idea, the performance triangle. Every single coffee you drink is a balancing act between these three things: the coffee itself, your performance in the gym, and the one we always forget, your sleep. The goal is to find that sweet spot right in the middle where we get all the benefits without wrecking our recovery.
So how do you manage that triangle? Well, you've actually got 4 key levers you can pull at any time. This is how you take back control. First up is dose, which is all about how much caffeine you're taking in. Then there's timing, when you take it. Third is stacks, or what you might pair with. And finally, and maybe most importantly, cutoffs, your absolute non-negotiable stop time for the day.
So let's talk about that first lever, dose. This is so important because 1 cup of coffee means basically nothing. The amount of caffeine can be all over the place. And check this out. A lot of people are surprised to see that a single shot of espresso often has less caffeine than a regular brewed coffee. And cold brew? It can be an absolute monster, sometimes packing double a normal cup. You gotta know your numbers.
So, if we want to stop guessing, we have to stop thinking in cups and start thinking like a pro. The most effective, consistent way to dose is based on your body weight. For most people, that performance sweet spot is somewhere between 1 and 3 milligrams of caffeine for every kilogram you weigh. It's a simple little bit of math that takes all the guesswork out of it.
Okay, we've got the how much. Now let's get to what is, honestly, probably the biggest game changer of them all. Timing. Because when you train completely flips the script on your coffee strategy. The playbook for a 6 a.m. workout is going to look totally different than the one for a 6 p.m. session.
And I mean, they are night and day different. For that morning session, you've got the whole day for that caffeine to clear out so you can go with a higher, more effective dose, say 30 to 60 minutes before you start. But for that evening session, it's a whole different ballgame. You have to respect that bedtime. That means you're looking at a tiny microdose, or maybe even just a non-caffeinated pre-workout option to get you fired up.
And this all boils down to one simple but critical rule you need to figure out for yourself. You need to sit down and decide, what is my personal caffeine cutoff time? What is the absolute latest time of day that I will have any caffeine, no exceptions? And if you don't know where to start, here's the golden rule. To protect your sleep, you should stop all caffeine at least 8 hours before you plan to go to bed. Seriously. And if you know you're sensitive to it, you might even want to push that to 10 or 12 hours. This number needs to become your non-negotiable line in the sand.
All right, let's wrap this all up with the key takeaways. Number 1, caffeine works its magic by blocking those natural sleep signals in your brain. 2, it has a really long half-life, which is why it can wreck your sleep if you're not careful with timing. 3, to get control, you use your 4 levers: dose, timing, stacks, and cutoffs. 4, dose by your body weight, not by the size of your mug. And finally, the big one, stop all caffeine at least 8 hours before bed.
So I'll leave you with this one last question to think about. The next time you reach for that cup, ask yourself, is this just a habit, something I'm doing on autopilot? Or is this a precision tool that I'm using intentionally to get a specific result? Once you make that shift, everything changes.